Hello, friends. Today, for our read aloud, we're going to start chapter 8. And we left off with chapter 7. Our friend Edward was coming out of the ocean, is out of the ocean now, finally. And he was found by an old man. So now he's kind of happy to be out of the ocean, I imagine, after being there for so long. And so now we're going to have a lot of different things that are going to change in this chapter. So be paying attention while I read today about what's changing. There's lots of things that are going to change for our China rabbit. So, chapter 8, here we go. On land, the old fisherman stopped to light a pipe, and then, with the pipe in between his teeth, he walked home, carrying Edward atop of his left shoulder as if he were a conquering hero. The fisherman balanced him there, placing a rough hand on Edward's back. He talked to him in a soft, low voice as they walked. "You'll like Nellie, you will," said the old man. "She's had her sadness, but she's an all right girl." Edward looked at the small town, covered in dust, a jumble of buildings close together, and the ocean stretching out in front of it all. And he thought he would like to see anything and anybody now that he was not at the bottom of the ocean. So I'm noticing here that our setting has changed. He's in a different spot now. He's not in the ocean. "Hello, Lawrence," called a woman from the front of a shop. "What have you got?" "Fresh catch," said the fisherman. "Fresh rabbit from the sea." He lifted his cap to the lady and kept walking. "There you are now," said the fisherman. He took the pipe out of his mouth and pointed with the stem of it at the purpling sky. "There's your North Star right there. Don't even have to get lost if you know where that fellow is." Edward thought about the brightness of the small star. Do they all have names, he wondered? "Listen at me," said the fisherman, talking to the toy. "Oh, well, here we are then." And Edward, still on his shoulder, the fisherman walked up the stone path into a little greenhouse. "Look here, Nellie," he said. "Look what I've brought you, something from the sea." "I don't want nothing from the sea," came a voice. "Aw, nah, don't be like that, Nell. Come on, then." An old woman stepped out of the kitchen, wiping her hands on her apron. When she saw Edward, she dropped the apron and clapped her hands together. "Oh, Lawrence, you brung me a rabbit." "Direct from the sea," said Lawrence. He took Edward off his shoulder and stood him up on the floor and held out his hands to take in a deep bow in the direction of Nellie. "Oh," said Nellie, "here." She clapped her hands together again, and Lawrence passed Edward to her. Nellie held the rabbit out in front of her and looked at him from tip to toe. She smiled. "Have you ever seen such anything so fine in your life?" she said. Edward felt immediately that Nellie was a very discerning woman, and discerning means that she's kind of selective and judgy. "She's beautiful," breathed Nellie. For a moment, Edward was confused. Was there some other beautiful object in the room? "What will I call her?" "Susanna?" said Lawrence. "Just right," said Nellie. "I'll call her Susanna." She looked deep into Edward's eyes. "First off, Susanna will need some clothes, won't she?" All right, and that's the end of our chapter, friends. So we've got lots of new things here. We've got a new setting. We're no longer at the bottom of the ocean. Our China rabbit has a new owner, and he also has a new name, which is kind of fun and interesting. So today, for your activity, after you listen to this chapter, you're going to go into Seesaw, and you're going to fill in a chart that's really similar to the one that we did last week. Because now we've got a new setting, our China rabbit has a new name, and we have some new owners. And he's feeling a little bit different now. He might feel a little bit different now that he's out of the ocean and he's got kind of this newfound refreshed attitude. So go ahead and fill in that and look for your next read aloud tomorrow.